Well, welcome everyone to our webinar this evening. My name is Mike and this is Chris, and we will be hosting the webinar tonight. And of course, our topic this evening is celebrating your Awana year. So we hope your Awana year has been going really well so far, and it's just a joy to be with you and have you join us this evening as we point to finishing strong. So with that, as some more people may be jumping on, let's do some housekeeping things before we start. I am muting everybody. It's not because we don't like you; we love you. But sometimes with when we do these things and all of our mics aren't muted, we get a lot of background noise. So you'll have the opportunity to unmute yourself. In fact, if you slide your mouse down to the bottom of your screen, you'll see a microphone down there. It may have a red line through it right now. You can just click that, especially when we do our small group breakouts. You just unmute so you guys can freely talk, and then we may have some time at the end where you could use your mics as well if we have some open question time. So there's that. The next thing is we have what's called a group chat feature, and this is where you can ask questions during the webinar, and you can see what other people are asking or making comments about. Chris will monitor the chat, and we'll do our best to answer those questions during our time together. Now, if you don't get your question answered, if you just run out of time, you can just send me an email or give me a call, and we'll make sure you get your question answered. So just to get you practicing that chat, go ahead, if you haven't yet, go to the bottom of your screen and you'll see the chat button down there. Just click on it. It'll probably bring up a pane somewhere on your screen or to the right. Go ahead and type in there at the bottom in that freeform area, type in your name, the church that you attend, the city and the state, because we have at least 3 or maybe 4 states joining us this evening, and your role in Awana. Boy, if you could share that, then everybody can see that and kind of see who's on our webinar this evening. So that's our chat room. Now, the other thing we're going to be doing are breakout rooms. We plan to do a couple of them. One of the features that we really like about doing these webinars is we can break out into smaller groups for some small group discussion. And we have quite a number of you on today, and so we'll break out into some groups. So the important thing is there, you just want to make sure your microphone's working. And boy, if you've got a crank camera, turn your camera on so at least those in your group can see your face, and it's just a lot better when you talk. And here's the thing, Chris and I are not the end-all sources of year-end celebrations, okay? We realize there's a collection of wisdom and creativity right here on this webinar. In fact, where do we get our ideas? From Awana leaders. Okay, I'm not in this room just creating all these great ideas. We get ideas from you, and so the idea here is we want to give everybody an opportunity to share and listen to others' thoughts and ideas, and that way we can all learn together. And so that's why we call these connecting and growing, so we can connect with one another. So with that, I'm going to go and pray to get us started, and then we'll jump in to this topic of celebrating your year end. Father, we do thank you for this night. We thank you for the technology that you allow us to do things like this, so we can connect with one another. And Lord, I thank you for each leader here that is joining us, and the clubs that they represent, and those kids that you give to us each and every week. What an honor it is and a privilege to minister to those young people that you send us. Lord, just help us tonight as we learn together. May we be better leaders, Lord, and through this, may we have more effective clubs, and may we have a stronger end to our year just through our conversations this evening. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, guess what? It's March already. How can it be March already? You know, some of you are saying, where did the time go? Oh, we're almost done. Others may be seeing, oh, it's March. I can see the end of the tunnel. It's there. I'm tired. My leaders are tired. Our kids are getting a little antsy, right? Well, regardless of how you're feeling, there's no doubt been great things going on in your Awana club this year in the lives of those kids, and you want to finish strong, right? So that's why you joined in tonight to do that. So to do anything well, we know that it takes a lot of thought and it takes planning to pull it off. And your year-end celebration, well, that's no different. You know, and if you want a meaningful event for those kids and those leaders or those parents and leaders, well, we must prepare early. So that's why we're doing this in March and not April or even May. So, you know, we talk about awards, and awards is a big part of the year-end celebration, but it's not all of it. But awards certainly are important in most clubs. And so, you know, we think about awards. Most of us achieve awards in some form, and we always have. You know, students, well, their awards, they're shooting for good grades, right? Athletes, well, they're trying to get an award of some, maybe a medal or a plaque of some kind. Um, Even adults, you know, with paycheck, you know, we want to earn a paycheck, right, and maybe have a chance to advance in our career. And you know, probably a lot of us have fond memories of awards. When we were growing up, I remember I was a Boy Scout. Maybe this isn't a fond memory, what it ended up being, but I was a Boy Scout. We had a field day, and I think I won maybe a couple of races. And then at the year-end celebration, they were giving out awards, and they did some field day awards. Well, they were going through the list of awards, and they skipped right over me. I don't know, my name just got off the list somehow. And I still remember, now they recovered and they got my ribbons, but that was like 40 years ago, right? Or more. And I still remember it. So, you know, awards mean something, and it means something for these kids. We want to do it well. So, you know, as you may be aware, Awana offers a lot of different types of year-end awards or book awards, and some of you may not be aware of that. So, Chris is gonna take a few minutes, and she's gonna go through the awards that Awana provides for you to give out to your kids. Chris.
Okay. So we will start with Huggle, the youngest group, and a lot of you may know these exist. Some of you may be new. Also, you're welcome to do your own awards and your own certificates, but this is what is provided by Awana.
It's right here.
Huggles, they can all get
it's right here.
certificates
There
for
is no volume
attendance
on the
for any
TV
part
for
of
some
the year.
reason. I don't know why.
And then you have cubbies, and they get participation certificate, and I would suggest that everybody gets the participant certificate in all of the groups, and then they would get a book ribbon for whatever book you're in that year. So this year, if you're following what's recommended, you would have the Appleseed Book Award, and then next year Honeycomb, or vice versa, depending what book you're on in your club. And then we have Sparks, and again, you have the participation certificate, you have the first book award, you have a second book award, and you have the Sparks plaque. So your Sparks plaque is provided to anybody in Sparks who has completed all 3 handbooks. You may have people that get multiple ribbons throughout the year because they have, maybe you have a first or second grader that came in and actually did 2 or 3 handbooks. And so they could get up to, if they're a second grader, they could get all 3 awards in a given year. And then we go on to TNT. And again, you have your certificate. You have the Alpha Award for the first book completed in TNT. And then you have the Excellence award, and that is for 2 handbooks in TNT. And then you have the challenge for the 3 books that they have completed their 3rd book that year. And then you have the Timothy, which is for all 4 books completed. And then we also have 3 of the 4 handbooks are listed here, but we have essential certificates for each of the handbooks just to celebrate their participation with the essential books, because as you probably know, the essential books don't qualify for the handbook awards. And then we go into Trek and Journey, and we have the Trek certificate as well as the Journey certificate for participation in those clubs. We have the Trek Milestone Award for the first year that they're in Trek. And then you also have the Meritorious, which is a completion of 6 handbooks between TNT and Trek and Journey. So you may also be giving out Excellence and Timothy Awards during this time. So if they completed 1 book in TNT and then 1 in Trek, they would get the Excellence Award. And the same thing for the Timothy, any 4 books between TNT and Trek and Journey. So your Meritorious is a completion of 6 handbooks between 3rd and 12th grade, and they have to be 8th grade or higher to get the Meritorious. And then the highest award that's available in Awana is the Citation Award. And this is for the completion of 10 handbooks between 3rd and 12th grade, and they need to be a senior in high school to receive this. And then again, we have the essential certificates for the Trek and Journey books as well. Since again, those don't qualify for the handbooks, but we certainly want to recognize their participation in those essential books. So what does a year-end celebration look like? You know, it's really up to you and to your church what you want to do, but really it's just an event or a celebration of your Awana year, and it honors those who have participated, those who may have completed handbooks, or any other awards you want to celebrate, or any other achievements. This is a precious time to meet parents of the kids God has entrusted to you during the club year. Many times parents don't come to church other than to see their kids, what they've been participating in. So it's just a great time to connect. And to tell you a little football that we did our first year in leadership, and so I highly recommend you don't do this. We had a big year-end, we invited all the parents to come, and we recognized all those kids that had completed handbooks, which was great, but we recognized no one else. And so guess what happened to the kid and parent participation the next year when we had the year-end celebration? Only the handbook completer kids and parents were there. And that wasn't the point at all of our year-end celebration. So we quickly made sure every child crossed the stage at least getting a participation certificate, whether they came one night or they came all 32 weeks of club. They got a certificate. So that was just a little lesson learned that I'm passing on. So we want to think about the most important things that you want to accomplish at your year-end celebration. And we're going to break into breakout groups. You have them ready?
Yeah, I've got them ready. So we're gonna break out into groups, and you guys are just gonna discuss. And we're going to throw the question up here. I think, Chris, see if you can advance that there. Yeah. Okay. Let's get there we go. Okay. So here's our question, and we're going to break out into groups. So you want to make sure your microphone, you're going to unmute yourself when you jump in. And if you have a camera, turn it on. Stick to the why. Like why, the why for doing an event. You know, what are the things we want to accomplish? What is the why? You know, don't talk about or avoid talking about. Okay. Well, hopefully you had some good discussions. We're going to try this. If anybody was the spokesperson and they want to, share something that you talked about in your group. Anybody, just go ahead, just share one or two things you may want to share that you talked about that was kind of stood out for you. And you have to unmute yourself.
Well, this is Marty. Patty and Edward and I.
Here, Marty.
Okay. Hello? No?
Why don't- can't
I
Marty
can hear you.
Okay, Marty. Oh. Well, 'cause our speech-
Somebody heard me, but not you guys.
Now we can
We got,
hear.
sorry, now we can. Sorry about that.
Okay. Well, Patty and Edward and I, we talked quite a bit. And yes, Mike, 5 minutes goes really fast.
It does go, yeah.
One thing that we talked about is have a culmination of a successful year. Sharing that it was a successful year, that kids are learning, they're learning God's word. That's so important. And Patty and Edward both recognize that parents are coming, and so we need to share the gospel.
Mm-hmm.
And also just have an attitude of gratitude, thanking families for trusting their kids with us, and then the leadership that worked with us. Those are a few things we talked about.
Oh, that's great. Hey, thank you guys. That was some great points around the why we do a year-end celebration for the year. Okay, any of the other two rooms want to share anything?
I can go ahead. For Nancy and I,
Yeah.
we just basically touched on some of those that you had just mentioned, but we really had wanted to focus on, at least my church was talking about wanting to focus on connecting with the parents, because it is so fast on Wednesday nights. I probably don't know half of the parents. It's sad to say, but it's just so quick. Drop off, pick up, and it's hi bye. And so, and half of them don't go to our church. I know they don't. So, just connecting with them, we wanted to make it a point to obviously share the gospel, but then afterwards have a time of fellowship and, do something like cookies. And that would obviously bribe the kids, because I think that's a good thing. Nobody can pass up cookies, but that would give them a few extra minutes at the end before leaving. And they and the leaders and the pastors and us would be very intentional in trying to connect with the parents and having conversations with them and just getting to know them just a little bit better, just connecting with them on a better level than our Wednesday nights normally are.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, the taking the opportunity to connect with parents that you maybe wouldn't normally see, right? Or have a chance, like you said, Jennifer, throughout the year to interact with. Great. We had one more group. You guys have maybe one thing that really stuck out.
I think the one thing we were all sharing were something that we do at the end to give space for like a social networking time. So ice cream socials, our church does cookies, and we do a couple little celebrations throughout the year with the parents and one big one at Thanksgiving, but usually cookies and something to drink at the end.
Okay, great. Love that. Thank you, Amanda, and for your group for sharing. Yeah, so let me go through some other things that we had come with. Let's see, some of these you guys already hit. Here's just a list. Hopefully you can see our list there of some of the whys that we came up with. We heard this talked about thanking the Lord for what he's done, celebrate those accomplishments, appreciate everyone's involvement, and that's parents and grandparents and leaders, right? We heard about building community with parents. You bet. Fun, right? It's got to be fun. There's got to be a fun component. It's got to be enjoyable and something the kids will remember. We want to end that year well. And boy, we want to take opportunities to bridge to those summer activities and those fall ministries as well. So yeah, that's great. Thank you guys so much. So as we're thinking about the planning of that year-end celebration, here's some things that you might want to consider as you're thinking about your year-end. You know, gather some key leaders, some of your key folks, and do planning now. Just sit down and just really brainstorm and take some of the ideas you're learning tonight and do some planning. Do a planning session. Don't try to do this all on your own. Hey, how much money do you have to spend? You know, a budget's big, right? Maybe the church or people within the church can donate some things that you need. I'll have Chris talk about the awards to be given and ordering those.
So you'll want to make sure you just order extra if you need to, just to make sure everybody is covered. So just kind of look through with your secretaries to see who all is close, could possibly, and order the awards. And I would suggest order early and just know that you have them. You don't have to worry about rushing. If you do have any citation achievers, you will definitely want to order those now, because those are engraved individually and shipped from a different company. So you'll want to make sure you just get those orders in early. And I just always order, not abundantly, but if somebody was on a fence, the leader wasn't sure if they would finish, I would just go ahead and order an award just in case.
That's great. Yeah. Thank you, Chris. You know, remember, a lot of people that may be coming to your closing, your year-end celebration may not be typical people that come into your church. So, boy, how about having some greeters there to welcome them? And so recruit some people you think would be really good greeters to greet those parents and grandparents and friends. Decorations and themes. Boy, that's big. You know, how are we going to decorate? Are we going to use a theme? Well, we have some ideas later we're going to talk about. Are we going to have kids get involved in some stage time or even some video things that maybe we want to do? So you know, be thinking about that. You know, food is big. That's a big topic. So what are we going to offer? Snacks, desserts, refreshments. Maybe we'll do dinner. Maybe hot dogs or hamburgers. Maybe filet mignon. I don't know. Maybe we'll come if you do that. We'll probably show up. Other things is audio visual. You want to do slides? Maybe show some video of some activities. Well, you'll need to get that going, right? Promotion. How are you going to promote? Flyers, Facebook, email, your church website. Be thinking about that. Do you want to recognize your leaders? We've got some ideas around that later. What do we have here? Gathering statistics. Wow, wouldn't it be great if you had some statistics around how many kids were saved this year? How many verses were memorized? What was your total number of kids that came to Awana? You can even go to the Awana website and go to, if you go to awana.org, you can find the year-end
book count, the verse count.
Well, I'm talking about the numbers of kids all around the world.
Oh yeah, the Awana
around the world. You can Google that or email me. That has numbers, and so our annual report has some really good numbers in there too, and that's out there that you can access. So wouldn't that be cool? You know, just some statistics. How about using your year end to bridge to VBS? Oh, guys, just remember we got VBS coming on June whatever, and you know, we're doing these things over the summer. You're invited. We'd love to have you. Someone mentioned sharing the gospel, and then, yeah, boy, interacting and thanking those parents is so important. So, you know, your year-end thing can be big, it can be small, it can be indoors, it can be outdoors. It really doesn't matter. The important thing is that it accomplishes what you want to do as a church to celebrate and recognize effort and to thank parents and grandparents for that important role that they play. Okay, here we go. All right, so as we shift to year-end celebration ideas, okay, churches do it a lot of different ways. You guys do it a lot of different ways. And I think I'm off my, am I ahead?
Yeah.
I am ahead. Sorry, I'm not usually ahead. So let me go back. Okay. So there's a lot of different things around, family potlucks or picnics or barbecues, smaller celebrations within clubs, grand events, right? Red carpet affairs, blow up inflatables, any kind of creative thing you want to do. Really, there's no one way to do a year-end event. So as we're starting to think about now ideas, what do we want this thing to look like? We're going to do another 5-minute breakout. And I did notice there were 2 or 3 of you that didn't get into a room. You may get a signal there saying, do you want to enter the room? I don't know. I'll try to move you in manually if I see that you don't get in. So hopefully, but we're going to put you back into we're going to get you into the same rooms. And here's what we want you to talk about. What are some creative ideas you have used or are thinking about using or have seen other churches use for a year-end celebration? And again, be ready to come back with maybe a top 1 or 2 brainstorm stuff that you guys come up with. So with that, okay, hope you had some good discussions. I'll just open it up if somebody wants to share, hey, maybe 1 or 2 big ideas that popped during your time together you want to share with folks.
I liked the idea of having the upcoming Sparkies set with the TNTs that are moving into TNT, and having the graduate and Cubbies that are going to be into kindergarten setting with the kindergarten. I think that was a fun idea to try.
That's great. Yeah. That's a great idea. Okay, any others?
Along with that, you should see the youth group come up to the front of the auditorium and welcome the graduating 6th grade TNTers. And I mean, they just, because they sit in the back during our award celebration, and they, like, as each kid is called up, even kids they don't know, they just hoot and holler. And it's really very fun, and the kids really feel celebrated, especially the 6th grade kids. They feel very celebrated by the youth group.
Love that. Oh, that's so neat.
Great idea.
Yeah, love that. Kind of that graduation step, into youth group, and they're welcomed by the kids. Boy, that's awesome. Any others that pop there for you?
So a couple of things that I talked about. I think that first of all, that graduation is a fantastic idea. I need to take that with me.
Yeah.
But a couple of things that I wanted to really make sure was in our ceremony was that the directors pass out the awards for all the age groups, because the directors know these kids way better than my husband and I know them, and can call them by name, can mention, a specific proud moment that they had that year, or just something real quick as they're walking on the stage, can really just say something positive and affirming to each clubber. And then the other thing that I wanted to do is that my husband and I have been taking pictures all year long, and leaders and everybody have been sending us pictures, and we wanted to make sure we compiled a slideshow to show all of the amazing times that we've had throughout the year, just kind of getting them excited, feeling proud, but also excited for the next year.
Yeah. That's great. Good thoughts there. Any others?
In our group, Edward was talking about how, and this is true in my Awana too, that the 6th grade is the highest we go, and then they go to the youth group. But he was talking about that they have the 6th graders just live talk about something memorable moments, memorable verses during that night of celebration.
That's a great idea.
So, and that can be videotaped too. I have a couple of techno people that would be good at videotaping them and presenting it during the celebration too. So that's an idea.
That's great.
Great idea. Love that. These are really good, guys. Any others anybody wants to share?
This year we have a theme. This is the first time I've tried this. and I was telling the people in my group called Kids Under Construction. And Mike and Chris, you might even be a little bit too young to remember this because you're a little younger than I am. But Marty and I remember the Gaithers singing this, having kids sing this song, "He's Still Working on Me."
Okay.
Do you know that song?
Yeah, you
no,
know-
Patty, no, I'm sorry.
You're too young,
way
Mike.
too
Yes,
young.
we do know the song.
But anyway, I'm teaching them the song, "He's Still Working on Me." And they're going to hold up, I'm going to have kids hold up signs like, "I'm under construction," and
Hey,
"this way," just like construction signs. Because the beginning of the song says, "There really ought to be a sign upon my heart. Don't judge me yet. There's an unfinished heart." And it's true, all of God's kids, all of us are God's kids. We're all under construction. So that's kind of going to be
Right.
the theme of a little devotional that night as well.
Oh, that's a great
so
idea.
it'll just tie right into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's great. Let's do let's do one more. If anybody has one more that you want to share, if not, we'll keep moving. All right, those are good. Well, hey, in the next day or so, because you signed up for the webinar, you're going to be getting a recording of this, what we're doing tonight. You can share this with others, or just have it. You can download it. I'll give you the PowerPoint. I'll give you my teaching notes. I'm also going to give you some links to some other resources, ideas that are out there that go much deeper into some ideas for you. So be looking for that. We can only scratch the surface with the time, the short time we have here. But boy, I think we're getting some really good ideas. Hopefully, you're getting some ideas that you can use as you're thinking about your year end. So what I want to do next, I just want to go through and talk about and show you some things that other churches have used in their year-end celebration that you might want to consider. So let's just walk through these. First, someone had mentioned slides, taking pictures. Great idea, doing some video. Boy, that's really good. You can have a lot of fun with those. Gosh, you can even ask each clubber, each kid or a leader, what was their best memory of the year? Something like that. You can have little short, videos of that and just showing activities. So that's always a lot of fun if you can do that. And that was mentioned. That's good. Hey, kids love to see their parents doing stuff on stage, or up front. Or even on the video. So think about ways you can do that. They can, we used to have each group come through and the cubbies might, I don't know what, sing their cubby song or say their key verse. It doesn't have to be anything really fancy or it takes just anything up on stage. And the cameras come out, the video cameras come out, and boy, the parents really appreciate that. So do the grandparents. Special awards. Hey, along with book awards that you do, consider presenting special awards for the end of the year. Maybe these are awards that the kids aren't even going to know if they win or not until the awards night. Builds up a lot of excitement. What about awards like Brought Most Friends to Club Award or Best Game Time Sportsmanship Award? Whoa, wouldn't that be good to do? Or a Barnabas Award, maybe that most encouraging kid, that just encouraged others. So you can award for things more than just their achievements in their books. It was mentioned a lot about the youth group and kids moving either 5th grade or 6th grade, giving them, there's some great ideas that already popped up. Having your youth pastor be part of that is so cool. He could come up and just welcome the kids. And boy, I love the idea of the youth getting involved in that. That was tremendous. How about celebrating your volunteers? Now, the things I'm going to talk about here, this could happen on an awards night, but a lot of churches also do like a special leadership appreciation meal. maybe at the church or at a local restaurant, even if you want to do something just for your leaders. Boy, that's good. That's such an encouragement too. But think about presenting just a thoughtful thank you or gift to your leaders. If you've got budget to do this, you could give them a small gift, to just appreciate them for all they've done and poured into the kids. Small budget, hey, a handwritten note, boy, that's so impactful, isn't it? Just giving them a note of thanking them. You could also take the next couple months during club to go around to maybe each club group when a particular leader isn't there, if you can work that out. Just ask the kids, hey, give me one word that describes your leader or something you appreciate about your leader. Wouldn't that be impactful? Get it on a film. We can do that with our iPhones now, right? Hey, describe one word of Mr. Smith or Mr. John. What's the one word you describe Mr. John? Boy, that would be a lot of fun. Okay, honoring parents and grandparents. Boy, have your kids write letters of gratitude to their parents just for their support throughout the year, or their grandparents. You could even select a couple kids to, maybe they could read their letter or do something there. But boy, would those parents feel appreciated, whatever you do, just for recognizing the part they play. And in Awana, we always want to try to get parents involved in what their kids are doing in Awana, right? I mean, really the real work of discipleship happens in between club nights. So boy, those parents who are bringing their kids to club, they're working with them in their handbooks, boy, that's a great opportunity to recognize their important role. Hey, now we're back to fun and themes and food, right? One club, they said this: we have a red carpet affair. We have a red carpet and a paparazzi background. Wow. The kids received their awards in front of that. They served dinner for the families, and then they do their presentations of their awards. Another club did an Oscar theme. That's kind of neat, complete with bunting and columns and Christmas lights. Boy, so what an event that would be. So that's something to think about. The thing is, make it look festive, make it look fun. Balloons, lights. We used to have tablecloths. Chris would buy the red, blue, green, yellow colored plastic cloths. They were pretty cheap, and put those on your white tables. Boy, that really just makes the room pop out. It's really balloons. Yeah, we did centerpieces and some really cool stuff there. So yeah, you put those awards out on the table, even the things you're giving, maybe so they can look ahead of time. They can see what the kids are going to get, or the kids can see some of the awards. Another club planned a Hawaiian luau for their kids and their families, and they encouraged them to dress in Hawaiian dress, modestly, but dress that way and participate. They did a limbo, and they had a cookout, and then they did the awards. And there's one club that does what they call potato feed every year. So all the parents, they bring the toppings for the potatoes, and the church just provided the baked potatoes. And they do it every year. That's just their in thing, is they did potatoes. So let's see, the next thing, testimonies. Boy, even your major award achievers, maybe you have a citation award winner, or a meritorious winner, or a Timothy winner, somebody moving, and you just want to give an opportunity to give a testimony about what God's done in their lives through Awana. And the young ones look up to those older kids, and that can have a great impact. Group pictures. One church they did a group picture, and someone in the front was holding up a sign that said, it's like a school picture, Awana 2019-2020. And then they had a hallway where they just put their pictures up like throughout the years. So they have, what a cool way to have their pictures, like a gallery, and you kind of look at that through the years. So they did that. I thought that was pretty neat. Okay, a couple things there that you can do that are related to Awana Go. You could do a versathon. We have a lot of churches that are doing versathons where the kids are memorizing verses. They're getting people to sponsor them in the church, and they're raising money to help kids across the globe, enable them to go to Awana. So you still have time to do a versathon, and you could do the big announcement of how many verses were memorized, how much money was raised. and you can do that at the year end. Also, Awana has something called Reach Kids Sunday. That can help you during a Sunday morning church service. So if you want to do something even on Sunday morning in front of your entire congregation, we have resources for you to help you celebrate. I put the website there on the screen. You can go there and you can find Reach Kids Sunday and Versathon resources there that you can use. And of course, we talked about announcing VBS summer activities. That's a great opportunity to announce what's coming up this summer. Keep that momentum going with the kids all year long.
And for the year end, I would really recommend too that you invite the entire church to come. We were at a church in Kentucky that we had started Awana, so they really had no idea what was going on Wednesday nights. And a lot of the congregation came, not just parents and grandparents, came to the year-end celebration, and they were amazed at how much scripture the kids had learned and just all what took place during the year. And so it really helped grow Awana in their church and just the, I guess, the value of Awana.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, Chris, do we have any chat questions out there that people? Okay, so we're pretty clean there. All right. Well, while we have just a minute, anybody have any comments or another thing that's popped in their head that they want to share or a question before we wrap up?
And you'll have to unmute if you have one.
Well, I want to tell you that our next webinar is going to be coming up on April 30th. And so if you can make that, go ahead and mark your calendars for that. And we're going to be talking about ideas and ways that you can bridge to next fall, to Awana next fall. And so we'll be talking about year-end evaluations, leader appreciation and getting feedback from your leaders and ways to do that. Summer planning meetings with your key leaders, promotion ideas for your club, and boy, that all important training. How do we keep equipping our leaders? We talk a lot about Awana leaders need to be lifelong learners, and so we should always, as leaders in our club, we should always be thinking about leader equipping. So we'll talk about that, and by then we should have all of our equipping events nailed down for the summer for you. So we'll give you a sneak preview on that as well, and so you can begin to plan that. So, well, Chris and I, we just thank you for coming on. We thank you for all you're doing to reach kids with the gospel and to engage them in lifelong discipleship. You know, you guys, I say all the time, there's no more strategic place in the church, we think, than working with children and discipling them. So we thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule to come on. We pray that this has been a help to you as you plan for your year in celebration. May God continue to bless you and your team and your church as you build into the lives of those kids and youth. And well, we just pray that you finish strong the rest of the year, and you'll look back and just say, thank you, Lord, for how you were able to use us to make a difference in the lives of these kids. And so that's our prayer for you. We hope to see you back here on April 30th. Again, if you ever have any questions, feel free to email us or call us, and we'd be happy to help you any way we can. So thanks for coming, and we'll see you down the road.